I quit. I totally quit a six-figure corporate job that I had spent my entire life building. It was a career that supported my family 100%, my family of six. Stability, security, retirement benefits, all of it. Why did I quit? Well, I found myself in places like this frequently, in the bathroom, on my phone, just escaping everyday work life. I had convinced myself that this is what I want to do the rest of my life, but yet I still felt dissatisfied. I'd find myself waiting for lunch breaks and at the end of the day and the weekends and drinking and eating too much on the weekends and partying and dreading Mondays. And I thought to myself, this is not a way to live. There's got to be something better than this. So I quit. And so did my husband. More to come on that. I thought I had finally made it. You see, I was making $120,000 a year. I grew up extremely poor on food stamps and parents that struggled with mental health issues and disability. And so for me to have gone to college and got this really secure corporate job, all the bells and whistles, this was supposed to be fantastic. I was supposed to be happy. But here's the problem. I felt like I never had enough time for my family or enough time for myself in general. And it got me thinking about how I would look back on my life as an 80-year-old woman. And here's what I learned is that potential regret is my greatest teacher. You see, I could have stayed in that corporate job that supported my family and yay, I'm living the career, I got the life, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm college educated with a master's degree. By the way, nobody really cares about that. But I would have so much regret because I did not spend enough time with my loved ones. And that's what really mattered. I would not be living to my highest potential. Here I was building somebody else's dream. For what? Security? So here I am, this 35-year-old woman with 4 kids, deeply dissatisfied in my life. And I thought, if I just buy more stuff, if I buy a nicer car, heck, if I get a bigger house, then I'm gonna feel satisfied. But enough was never enough. So I woke up one day and I said to myself, Andrea, what are you really talented and what do you enjoy doing greatly? And that's teaching and inspiring. You see, my first career was as a licensed mental health professional, but I didn't want to build somebody else's dream any longer. I wanted to do life on my own terms and spend the majority of my time on this planet with the ones that I loved. And how could I reach more people? How could I do something different? How could I get paid with these lofty goals that I had? YouTube. I saw many people change their lives with the power of YouTube. So I created a cleaning hack channel. So on top of my 50-hour per week job, I decided to do YouTube full-time because in order to be successful on YouTube, you really have to invest quite a bit of time into it. But I knew the payout could potentially be worth it. So now I'm working 80, 90 hours a week, missing out on my family even more. And for a year and a half, I'm dedicated to YouTube. I'm making YouTube videos, as much videos as I possibly can, trying to figure things out, experimenting, trial and erroring, and feeling like a failure the majority of the time. See, that critic in myself would say, Andrea, what are you doing? You're a 35-year-old woman with 4 kids. Just stay in this cushy job that you have built. There's something wrong with you. You should feel happy. You should feel satisfied. Stop chasing things. But here's the thing, we are either growing or expanding. And I was no longer growing in the corporate setting, in the corporate life, living that way. So I felt like I was dying inside. So adding another 40 hours per week doing YouTube, I was hopeful. I was excited. And a year and a half later, my efforts paid off. And within about 3 or 4 months, I was able to quit that $120,000 per year corporate job. Now I was scared, you know what, S-H-I-T-L-E-S-S. I was scared to death. But here's the second lesson that I learned. I knew that I could figure anything out. My past experience in my life taught me when things are hard, I persevere and I persist. That's just the type of person that I am. I do not give up. And I knew this would be no different. Even though being poor, being without, not being able to support my family, having to live on food stamps or the government or any sort of support or aid was scary as heck to me. I'm so grateful that those programs do exist, because as a child, I would not have made it if I did not have that support. But I didn't want to go back there. But I also knew that my happiness came first and foremost, because if mama ain't happy, and you've heard the saying before, ain't nobody happy. If you're not happy from the inside, no matter what you bring into your life, no matter who you meet in a relationship, no matter what promotion that you get, you will not truly feel fulfilled. So I became a full-time YouTuber. You see, growing up, if you tell somebody that you wanted to do YouTube, they think like, oh, that's cute, that's nice, that's cute, you make those videos. But when I tell people, hey, I'm a licensed mental health professional, people are like, oh, wow, that's interesting, tell me more. Oh, you do such amazing work. There's a very different perspective in our culture when it comes to being a YouTuber and when you choose to pursue a traditional 4-year degree and go after a professional job. But I didn't care anymore what people thought about me becoming a full-time YouTuber, because this is the third lesson that I learned. My number one priority on this earth, in order to die a happy woman, is to live out to my highest potential. And being a YouTuber is a big piece of that. So I had to let go of the stigma of what it meant to be a full-time YouTuber. I could no longer care or attach myself to anybody else's opinions. Because if I continued to do that, I would feel the same way that I did at 35 as I would at 65. However, I would have even more regret because I did not take the risks that my heart was speaking to, the things that got me excited. Video creation got me excited. Teaching and learning, living to my highest potential, and inspiring others to do the same. When you stop living your life for somebody else and because of cultural expectations or what is deemed to be a good career path or what is deemed to be, I have made it in my life, when you stop doing those things, you find your innate genius, your innate energy, your innate zest for life. I wake up at 4 a.m. by choice. Yes, that is crazy to say because I am so excited to be doing the things that I am doing now on an everyday basis. I didn't feel that when I was in my corporate job. I was just sludging along, taking many mental health days so that I could get my mojo back and get back in the game. My husband, who was a stay-at-home dad for 4 years, just recently went back into the workforce. And after a couple months, he started to experience those same feelings again. Feeling trapped, feeling like, is this what life has in store for me? And I thought to myself, now would be a great time to potentially partner up and join forces. I could use his help, we could work together. And I proposed the idea to him. Hey honey, would you be interested in joining my team, Andrea Jean Co., and building this dream and vision with me? Now, he has no experience in video editing. He has no experience with anything YouTube related other than watching it. And after several weeks, he thought about it and I thought about it. We played around with it. How would this impact our marriage? How would this impact our parenting with our kids? And we decided to take the leap. Last week, he put in his resignation for his full-time corporate job that he had just gotten a couple months prior. This job that he had gotten after 4 years of being a stay-at-home dad was, in many eyes, a dream job. Like, these opportunities are not gonna come around again. But he was ready to close the door. We were ready as a family to close that door, take the risk, and see where this next journey brings us. So here we are, two 30-year-old college-educated parents of 4 children, basically starting over. Because here's the thing, when we look back at our lives together, when we are 80 or 90 years old, we do not want to have lived with regret. We do not want to have looked at our time spent and it had been building somebody else's dream. We don't want somebody else to be in charge of how we live our lives, how we run our lives, our earning potentials, where we go, where we travel, anything that we do in our lives. So we took the risk and we decided to not let anyone else's opinion change what we thought. So we quit. We not only quit our secure corporate jobs, but we quit caring what other people thought and how we lived our lives. Our goal at the end of the day is to use our gifts to the best of our ability and raise 4 beautiful children and give them the most important gift, which is time. Time for them, time for each other, time for ourselves. So I want you to ask yourself these 3 things when it comes to quitting your job or whatever predicament that you may be in. Are you waking up every day excited to do what you do? Do you feel like you are living to your highest potential? How can you live today so that you have no regrets in your future? And last but not least, can you figure it out? You see, quitting and being an entrepreneur, there's no proven roadmap that you do this, this, and this. But has your past experience shown you that you are capable of doing hard things and persevering and sticking with something long enough to see the fruits of your labor? Has your past experience shown you that? And if so, your answer is right there. If you want to learn more about my YouTube journey from growing up in foster care to starting the YouTube channels, how I started making money with YouTube, the behind the scenes, I will link a video in the description box below. Also follow along on Instagram at Andrea Jean Co. I share more behind the scenes as my husband and I build this business together to inspire you to go after your dreams with the power of YouTube. Lots of freebies for you in that description box below. Give this video a thumbs up and share this out with anyone that is also considering quitting their job and doing something entirely different, going against the norm.